Marina Mabrey had one of her better playmaking games of the season on Sunday against the Connecticut Sun, and it was just her general feel that she had on display. From her playmaking processing to her patience to her general decisiveness, and even more so than that, operating as the main advantage setter, not necessarily setting the offense in terms of initiating, but when the ball got in her hands, especially in pick and roll or dribble handoff scenarios, being the main advantage setter because they were putting two to the ball and she was holding the attention of multiple defenders essentially all game. She did a great job with her processing there. She only had 5 assists, and I put only in asterisk, around asterisk, just because the effect of her general passes, as we're going to see in a couple of clips here, where she's not getting a direct assist, was still felt because she was able to, again, set the advantage, and then it ends up leading to the ultimate play that's going to be scored on, or the pass that's scored on. So let's go ahead and dive into some of the film from one of her better games in playmaking on the season. This first rep here, we're going to see about a secondary break here. Elizabeth Williams is going to get into the picture to set a screen, and we're going to see Marina get into a little bit of dancing here. Creates a reaction advantage off of the crossover into the step back, and then you see this great pass. But we're going to slow it down a little bit more as we can see just what she was processing, why she ended up making the pass, and how it even came to be in terms of the look. So before we even get started here, we're going to see smart spacing from Courtney Williams. She keeps that corner on the opposite side of the floor from Marina Mabrey empty. You see how she kind of backpedals and she stays above the free throw line extended. As Alana Smith comes into the picture on the bottom right of the screen, that's going to also all work to empty that corner, and there's going to be no low help on that side of the floor. Why is that important? Because as we see Marina Mabrey boogie here, crossover step back, she gets the reaction advantage and then rejects the screen from Elizabeth Williams. She gets downhill. When she gets downhill, because Alyssa Thomas is in a short drop here, as we can see her below the free throw line, she's going to be walling off the paint. And now that Marina Mabrey's generated an advantage in terms of being able to get downhill and losing her defender, her initial defender, now she's holding the attention of 2 defenders. And why is it important, again, that Courtney Williams is above the free throw line extended? Because when Elizabeth Williams gets into her role, Marina Mabrey is able to make this pass without having to worry about low help or somebody sneaking in across the help line, because she's already done her job in holding the attention of multiple defenders. The Sun don't late switch this. They don't switch anything with this action with Mabrey holding onto the ball here. And Mabrey's able to manipulate holding 2 in attention and hit Elizabeth Williams on this pass. She throws it in a perfect spot where Natisha Heidemann can't contest the catch because she's too short in stature. And Alyssa Smith, a perennial Defensive Player of the Year candidate, can't get her hands in on this pass as well. Elizabeth Williams displays great hands, and the processing of Marina Mabrey, as well as the patience and decisiveness, are all on display to help set a tone here. And then here, this rep is extra important as well because, again, it's still relatively early in the game. We're about halfway through the first quarter here on this rep, and we're seeing Marina doing what she wants to do. She's dictating in pick and roll, whether it be the pace, the type of shot they're getting, and where the shot is coming from. And it's all important, especially early in the game. So we see her coming off the screen. You see the in and out dribble, gets her initial defender just to hesitate in her navigation of the screen initially, which is all you want. And then the rest of the job is done after her setup by the screener, which is Elizabeth Williams doing a good job with her angle and holding on that screen to make sure that the initial defender can't just navigate right through cleanly. You see the hang up there? That forces Alyssa Thomas, and it's already baked into the coverage initially early in the game, to shoot up from her short drop. As you see, she's below the level of the screen as Marina loads up to come off, and then she shoots up into like a flat show, a flat hedge here. She doesn't really put 2 to the ball in terms of trying to blitz, but is going to hold 2 to the ball because Marina is going to threaten to turn a corner and then ultimately eventually turn the corner. And then we see the pressure it puts on the defense and what it's going to generate in terms of a look for Marina as she gets into her pickup point here. 1-2. And then she goes into an extended arm, left-handed finisher to burn the coverage as they try to put 2 to the ball. And she just chooses a great angle, a little bit of a hesitation to get the little bit of separation, gain the leverage, and turn the corner. And then she's able to finish it. Just great processing from Marina there. And then this next rep is going to be, again, a secondary break She's going to get a little bit of a drag screen eventually from Elizabeth Williams. Again, we're going to pay attention to the corner this time on the same side as the pick and roll as it was on the last play, being emptied. That's going to be important because of the type of defensive coverage that DeWanna is going to have with Marina here. So an empty corner pick and roll when they're putting two to the ball on the person that's initiating the pick and roll action is a great weapon to have, especially if you process and operate out of it with pace as well as the correct blend of patience and decisiveness. And we see all of that on display here from Marina Mabrey. And it's going to end up generating this look for Kahleah Copper. But we're going to slow it down a little bit and look at exactly how and why Kai ended up being open enough for this look. So, again, the corner's empty. We get DeWanna here instead of Alyssa Thomas. DeWanna's a lot more aggressive with her hedging out. She's hedging out 2-3 steps, and she's not in a flat hedge. She's trying to force Marina as close to the half-court line as she possibly can or terminate her dribble, which is what she ultimately gets here. But it's what Marina does there before she kicks it to Atlanta Smith on the spray pass out of the two to the ball scenario is what really gets the defensive dominoes falling. So she stretches and holds the defense, keeps her dribble alive, stays strong with the basketball. It's this turn back that threatens the pass to the roller who's not guarded at the moment. That forces, again, looking at Kahleah Copper in the bottom right-hand corner, forces her defender who's 2-9ing, waiting for Marina to make a decision with that first pass out, to step over and fully commit to Elizabeth Williams on the roll, stepping across the help line, which if you can imagine a line cutting from the middle of the floor where the basket is all the way to the other side. So that middle help line is completely being crossed by the low help defender. And Marina sees that if she's getting ready to load up and pass it to Elizabeth, and then she quickly processes it, that detaches her from two, and then she sprays it out to Atlanta Smith and allows for her to play connector. Now, in addition to this pass and the setup from Marina with the manipulation, that's going to also be aided by the Sky, one of the scripted cuts. So anytime the ball swings to a second side, they typically have the middle player cut for spacing purposes, but also to help generate flow into the next action. And that's going to be what also adds to it. So the advantage is set with Marina Mabrey holding two to the ball. They maintain the advantage here with the spray out to Atlanta Smith, and then they exacerbate the advantage with this middle cut from Courtney Williams that you can see not only hold the rotation of the low defender getting over to Kahleah Copper because she has the help on this cut, but it also forces Natisha Heidemann to take a couple of steps back and retreating. All while that's happening, we're also going to see Kahleah Copper smartly lifting up from the corner to a route free throw line extended here. She's going to catch in rhythm, and she's going to knock this down. All set up again by Marina Mabrey, but then exacerbated by her manipulation of the play and then also the play from the offense on the second side and taking advantage of where the defensive help was and everything. And then this next rep here, we're going to see, again, just another empty corner pick and roll. We see Courtney Williams clearing out to empty this corner here, giving them as much space to play as they possibly can in this two-man game. And just look at Marina setting up another reaction advantage with this jab. You get the overstep, and then you get the jab and triple threat. You see how that gets a little bit of reaction advantage, and then boom, another one. And that's the one where she then attacks off of. If she comes off of the pick, again, not unlike the last time, DeWanna in the hedge out again, but it's not aggressive enough. And Marina feels that, absorbs the contact, and then she again turns the corner, and she's able to threaten the defense while she's holding the attention of multiple defenders. A smart job from Elizabeth Williams, not going too much into her role, but also keeping enough space for Courtney Williams as she kind of clears and ducks under to the opposite block. And now it's a 2-versus-1. And they're waiting to see what Marina's going to do with this pass. And you can't see this on the live feed, but when you slow it down and you really watch the film, as she navigates the hand help at the nail here from Alyssa Thomas, you can see her look at the corner. She's looking at Kahleah Copper as she makes this pass to Courtney Williams. That's a no-look pass. This is why it gets the reaction that it does out of the defender here. As you can see, splitting the difference between Courtney Williams and Kahleah Copper. Mabrey, again, manipulates with her eyes, is patient and decisive as well with her live dribble. And again, another assist for her. And then this rep here was one of my favorites from the game as they don't really fight the pressure that much. As you can see, her catch point is pushed way further out than the Sky would want it to be. Nonetheless, they continue with their flow and their pace through the play. Gets into a little bit of a get or a hand back here from Courtney Williams. And now they've manipulated the spacing on the floor to where they're going towards the two side in this pick and roll, the spread pick and roll. And what they're doing is behind Marina is going to be where the help is on the roller. Because, again, the Sun are putting two to the ball, as we see with Alyssa Thomas here. She's going to hold the attention of multiple defenders. And then she's going to do a great job, again, not terminating her dribble, but stretching the defense. A little bit of a retreat dribble to get some space. And then she attacks the top foot of Natisha Heidemann. As you can see on this still frame here, there's the top foot. She gets that. She attacks it, beats it, cleans up a little bit more space. And now what's happening on the backside? You have the tagger that's solely isolated and responsible for playing two here. So on Elizabeth Williams' role, she does a great job getting into a great pocket and then sitting. Marina Mabrey, as she buys time for her to get into that deep role, does a great job getting around, again, Natisha Heidemann to break that leverage. And then she finds some daylight, fires this pass in, all off of the timing that she bought for Elizabeth to get into this role. And look at where the catch is. She already got 1 foot in a restricted area, the other foot obviously in the paint. There's a mismatch there, and because she's so close to the basket, the contest doesn't even matter, and Elizabeth Williams is able to finish that one. Again, just another great rep with processing and playmaking from Marina Mabrey. Not initiating offense, but again, being the main advantage setter and doing a great job with her discernment in that. And then on this rep here, we're going to see a little bit more of the same from Marina. As, again, on this is the final one in this film session. She does a great job, again, coming off of the handoff here and then getting into the screen. Boom. She's holding two to the ball again. This time she gets into multiple retreat dribbles to stretch out the defense. Again, holding the attention of multiple defenders. Great job with the spray pass out to Dana Evans. And that's going to allow for her teammates to play in a 4-on-3 with the defense stretched out as much as they possibly can. Look at where she is as this ball gets into Dana Evans' hands. And look at the 3 defenders in a triangle shape from the Connecticut Sun. And look at how the Sky are spaced out. There are all types of advantages. Dana can hit this skip here to Kalia Copper. She can kick it to the corner on the same side as her and allow for one of the 2 players at the help line in Elizabeth Williams or Kalia Copper from the opposite side to cut baseline. They elect to hit Elizabeth Williams here somewhere near the dome. And then because of this timely cut from Kalia Copper, that's going to suck in the defense like a vacuum. They lose track of where the ball is. You can see Dejanay Carrington turns her back completely to the ball. But because, again, at the head of everything, Marina Mabrey stretches out the defense before they get into playing within the advantage, Elizabeth Williams is able to get into a nice little soft touch finish that's completely